Matt, how are you doing? Oh, let me get you off of mute here. You got to take yourself off of mute. You have yourself self-muted there. Hit your mute button there.
All right.
There we go. Awesome. Awesome.
How's it
And I'm
going?
gonna I'm gonna give you presenter rights as well as we are chatting here to kick off. So how's everything going today, Matt? Good?
Very, very well. Yeah. How about you? The sessions have been phenomenal. This actually might boot me out really quick.
Okay, well let's hope not. Let's let's make sure. Oh, there we go. All right, we'll get Matt back in just a second. So for those of you who do not know, that's I don't know if you guys are seeing me so large, but that's a really big freaky picture of me. So for those of you who do not know, there's Matt. All right, perfect. Matt is the founder and creator of Loxo. So this is I'm thinking it's gonna be a pretty popular session here, Matt. I know it's weird to say for a demo, right? But we've had a couple of really good demos here. So Loxo is one of those softwares that came out a while ago, kind of low key. It just kind of crept in, and people started talking about it, and then boom, it just happened, right? And you guys are on a tear, no doubt about it. So I'm gonna give you sharing. Does it give you? Oh, here, let me give you a sharing on this one here. Give me a second. I see the double. There you go. You should now have it.
All right.
And perfect. Awesome. There we go. So for those of you who don't know Matt, he's the founder of Loxo, so that's awesome. And as I was getting ready to say, as I was saying, you guys kind of came in low key, right? You just kind of like snuck in and what's this Loxo thing? And this is a couple years ago now. How many years you guys been around?
Uh, so we're 8 years. So yeah,
Eight
we've been
years?
around. We've been around for a while, but the first few years were. I'll talk a bit about it, but we're just scraping and clawing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, good. And hey Ashley, do we have a poll for Loxo to put up to kick off? Awesome. So Matt, why don't you talk about this? So about the free account. So we have the poll up. Are you ready to are you ready to open your free full access Loxo account? Go ahead and answer that, drop it in. But can you explain what this is? Because it is like fully free, right?
yeah. So a lot of people don't understand this, but we want to give access to the community and get as many people um, access to Loxo's full functionality. So we actually released an entire free product.
Mhm.
It's almost full featured. It even includes our database of 600 million people. So it's a good way to just test it out, kick the tires. And we think once people do that, it'll create an opportunity for us to help. So that's a great way. That orange button right there, check it out. And yeah, if you have questions,
Awesome.
our team will be there to help.
Yeah, perfect. We'll make sure that we get that. And so if you guys have answered yes, so a couple things will happen there. One is we'll get you full access, and we'll make an introduction to Matt or someone there on the team, and we'll make sure you get that. So check your emails after the event, not today, probably tomorrow or Monday or Friday. I guess tomorrow's Friday, so right around there, as we clean some things up. But Matt, I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let you go so you can show this thing and get people super excited. So I'm gonna cut myself off here.
All right, let me see if I might move my, so hopefully you can still see it all right.
Yeah, we've got everything.
All right, perfect. So hello, HRTXers. Ryan, thank you so much for the introduction. Just to kind of reintroduce myself, my name is Matt. I'm the founder CEO here at Loxo. We have a lot to cover in a very short amount of time, so I'm going to talk really fast and cover a lot of ground. Before we get going, though, I just want to thank you all for spending some of your afternoon with me. It means a lot, and we can't wait to show this to you. I'd also like to just spend the first half of our time to talk about what a talent intelligence platform is and share my knowledge for what's happening in the marketplace and why the market forces have created such a massive demand for a solution like this in the first place. So as Ryan kind of alluded, we often hear there's a lot of buzz in the industry around Loxo, but no one really knows what it is. And they're not sure if it's an AI sourcing platform or recruiting CRM or ATS. So I want to take a few minutes before the actual demo to kind of break down what exactly Loxo is and how we help recruiters become hiring machines. Um, So in my opinion, in 5 years, neither a legacy ATS or a recruiting CRM will be the system of record in recruitment. And an ATS was actually created more than 20 years ago. And the reason why it was created, it was to manage an influx of job board applicants. Good old post and pray, right? So an entire generation of recruiters learned that that's how recruiting was done. Inbound recruiting, or another way to say it is screening applicants. The most dangerous phrase in business or for recruiters in your career is, well, that's because that's how it's always been done, right? You don't want to be stuck in that. So everyone that's attending this, you're way ahead of the curve. We all know that best talent are not actively looking. That's why we have recruiters and sourcers in the first place. You want to get the very best candidates, not just good enough. So, LinkedIn and sourcing tools provide access to a notion of passive talent, but the problem is all of the data lives outside the core ATS and outside of your day-to-day workflow. So Loxo solves this. And we have a proprietary data solutions and a suite of workflow products that when combined in one system allow you to see a 200 to 500% improvement in efficiency. And we're hearing that all the time from our customer partners. Since Loxo includes data, workflow automation, and artificial intelligence, it becomes the ultimate in both inbound and outbound recruitment. Recruiting organizations are able to automate candidate opt-in, screening, sourcing, and even engaging candidates. So all of this automation frees up recruiters to focus their time on talent identification and interviewing, only the best candidates with the highest probability of being a good fit. So obviously we all know what that leads to. Huge improvements in quality of hire. It protects against recruiter bias with some of this and reduces time to hire, but ultimately it just frees up resources for more strategic efforts like diversity inclusion that we're all very well aware of. Ryan already kind of mentioned this, and nobody really cares about this, but we are 8 years into our journey. I won't go to the long boring story about that, but it took us 5 years, scraping and clawing to get to 50 customers, 5 years. Just 2 years later, now we have over 1,500 customers across the globe. We work with the world's leading exec search firms, recruiting RPO, and now we're moving into enterprise because they want to have access to the same state-of-the-art solutions to build talent pipelines and manage both inbound and outbound recruitment. So let's just kind of get into this. I want to unpack what a talent intelligence platform is. That you'd otherwise have to piece together a dozen bolt-on tools. They don't talk to each other, they're not native. Each of these products working together make up what a talent intelligence platform is. So the cornerstone is the ATS. This is an enterprise-grade ATS, state-of-the-art. It's the core foundation. If you're an agency, you'd use everything that Loxo has. If you're on the in-house side, you could, but more than likely, we'd recommend that you keep your HRIS system or legacy ATS, and we'd actually push data into that. We can do a bi-directional integration. Loxo Source, this is something that's become pretty popular, and people are starting to realize. Even though we're 8 years into this, we just released Loxo Source about 5 months ago or so. It's our proprietary database of 500 million people. We have an entire team focused on acquiring, cleaning, structuring, and enriching data sets. Everyone always asks where your data comes from. So we have 3 core sources: the open web, social networks, professional sites, enriched profile data. It's all publicly available. We also have API enrichment partners, and then we use premium commercial data brokers. There's other sourcing tools on the market that they're very popular with this community and sourcers in general. They have a large index of people. But I think what surprises people the most is that we have the same data they do, and we even are adding more data given our strategic roadmap. But at the end of the day, Loxo is a data company. We used to talk about what Web 3.0 is, but I won't for now. But we will have the most accurate, up-to-date data for recruiting and sourcing, and this is a huge part of what we want to do. Loxo AI, so this is our secret sauce. It's bleeding edge machine learning. It automatically sources, matches, and ranks in order the best fit for a given search assignment. And this is something that the more you use, the smarter and more accurate it becomes for your company or your database, depending on what niche you're in. There's a few other systems that are rolling out AI solutions. If you've used them, by and large, what they're doing is it's a search string in the background. So it's not a whole lot faster or more accurate than filtering by what you can on your own. This is deep learning, a combination of deep learning and a proprietary algorithm that we've developed into the best mutual fit. And what we're most excited about is we're launching our 3rd generation in a couple weeks. And we haven't announced it yet. We've been testing it, and we cannot wait to get that in the hands of our customer base. But we'll show that to you today, actually, or some of it. A couple more things, we'll jump into this. Loxo Connect. So we have our own contact info. The reason why you're able to replace some other sourcing tools is you have direct access to phones and emails. And a lot of people have run this head-to-head. We encourage you to do it. The paid account has premium data sources turned on, so you'll get better contact info results. But we have the best mobile phone data out there, and we have the most accurate personal email. We will start adding work emails, but for now, obviously, we're not, as recruiters, we don't need to do that as often. Loxo Outreach. So this is one of our newest products and most popular. We've even had very skeptical, conservative retained search firms who are like, we're never going to do that. It has to be very high touch and personalized. And they're obsessed with this. I'll show this to you as well. You pre-build a sequence of follow-up, and you put it on autopilot. That way your recruitment marketing team can focus on the positioning and messaging and allow your sourcers and recruiters to focus on talent identification. The recruiting CRM, this is the last one. So last month, actually, we released our biggest code release in history. It's our next generation recruiting CRM. But now the big difference is we have different package options, including a version specifically built for enterprise organizations. And that's kind of the bi-directional integration with your existing HRIS or ATS. We've also unveiled a new product called Deals, and that's designed more for exec search, RPO, or recruitment agencies. And that helps them manage their business development activities, and they no longer have to go get a separate sales CRM like Salesforce. The recruiting CRM essentially allows you to build talent pipelines and identify your total addressable market for a given search. And you can nurture those relationships over time, which is the key, as we all know, to winning kind of the talent war, but also building just stronger, more diverse organizations and being proactive versus reactive. It makes modern recruitment not just possible, but now it's easier than ever before. And the best part is if you don't have to replace your ATS, you don't have to replace anything. You can use this as a standalone, or we'll integrate it, and our team will do that for you. The one thing I'll add though is to get the most benefit and harness the power of machine learning, you need to use the ATS or recruiting CRM as your system of record, because obviously the more data, the more recs, the more you're using it, it compounds. So if you start now, you'll be a year ahead if you're a year later. So, and the final thing is you don't have to duct tape and bolt on as many different third-party things. It's just much more effortless. So I know that was a lot to digest, but hopefully now everyone has a better understanding of what a talent intelligence platform is and why we believe it will replace legacy, the legacy recruiting system of record in the years to come. So let's dive in and get to the fun part, shall we? I know everyone's waiting for this. So I don't know if I'm going to try to move this out of the way here. So, number one is just ease of use and simplicity. And we're extremely, extremely passionate about design. And we want this to be like the Apple of recruiting software, extremely minimalistic. Every little pixel we do, we put a lot of love into. What we're going to do is I'm going to walk through like a whole life cycle so you can see how this would all work. But everything in Loxo is customizable, including your workflow. So if you're an agency, you might have an end-to-end system, whereas if you're an enterprise, you might just use this at the top of the funnel, and then you can use it as you nurture them through the process. And then once you want to pass them through into your HRIS, we could do that for you. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a new job. And this is a brand new, we haven't released this live yet it'll be part of our brand new 3rd generation AI. But what you would do is you create a new job. And let's just go ahead and create one here together. And I'm just going to pick say Nike customer success. So you don't have to enter in a ton. The whole point with deep learning is it's going to go look at data points for you. But let's just say that we want, team building skills. We want client success. We want enterprise and SaaS. You can put ideal candidates if you have them. You can also exclude different titles if you know for a fact that these titles always pop up of people and they're just a bad fit. You have the option to put more of those in. And what this also allows you to do is you can identify what type of role that is. So most people won't move horizontally, but if you want to find people who move into that role, you can, and you can keep it more broad so you don't narrow people out. This one, we're just going to say it's remote, but you can obviously enter this stuff in. I'm just going to go ahead and take a real JD here. And if you'd like, you can use this to format it. We could even pull in data from your existing ATS. You don't have to use this, but this is I would encourage you to use that. You have a different section for internal notes if you can't share things publicly. And then you can publish it with one click. One click that goes to your careers page or website. And you don't have to go to a million different job boards. We can even integrate with programmatic recruitment tools, whatever you want. The advanced section, obviously you're like, well, where's all the other tools? You can assign team members, you can have approvals, whatever you want. This is fully customizable and our team would customize that with you. But extremely simple form. It doesn't take long, but if you just took 3 minutes to fill that out, now Loxo AI is going to go start to source, match, and rank from our database of 500 million people. In addition, if you posted it, you'll get some people. So I'll just go ahead and hit create. And now we have 0 people in our database. So now what? Where do we find candidates? Well, the whole entire purpose of a recruiting CRM or ATS is that's the value. Those are people who've applied. Those are people your team has spent years identifying. So search is one of the most important things. And unfortunately, most ATSs, as you all know, are horrible at it. It's not their fault. It's just the tech is old and it's not quick and snappy. Our search finds everything, every keyword in your system, like Google would, in notes, in resumes, in every column you have. It's a lot less maintenance and really easy to build pipelines. So of my data here, if I have 225 people, now maybe I want to filter by, let's say you have a city. These are all Boolean, maybe a zip code georadius. Maybe you want to pull over custom things from like marketing, or you have a priority level or tags. So the point is we customize all of this for you during the setup. I'm not going to go through all that and show you, but you have your own purpose-built talent warehouse that lets you slice and dice and track candidates and build talent pipelines. And that's a huge part of this. From here, how can technology make your life easier? Less clicks. I'm going to pick that list and I'm going to do one of 3 things. I'm going to add them to my pipeline. So, I could say I want to put them into this customer success role, or with one click, I can send an email. So this syncs with your email. You can even send an email from a hiring manager or somebody else if you want. You can type your own custom merge tags, or you can even use templates. And you can also have visibility if anyone's even received it. So that's nice. We also have texting. You don't need another bolt-on system for texting. Ours is all built in. This is, as you know, if you text, it can be unbelievable and extremely effective tool. And again, it's all simple and built in. The problem though with a one-time email or text is now you have to spend all of your time manually following up for every job for people. And we just know we don't do that. Nobody has time. So don't worry about it. Instead, just add them to your Loxo outreach. And I'm just going to go ahead and open one here. But what this does is it puts your outreach on autopilot. So we could give you best in class templates, but we'll just go ahead and create one to show you how simple it is. And what you would do here is you're going to create your first email, more than likely an email, or use a template. And so you drop those 6 people into this pipeline. And now what happens is it's going to send them that email. If they respond, it stops. It takes them out of the sequence. More than likely, they're not going to. So no big deal. Instead, what you do is you create a second email and you would send that out a day later or 72 hours or whatever you want. And the beauty of this is that you can build what we call a multi-channel playbook. So you can build best-in-class playbooks from your recruitment marketing team, your team that are really good at writing and positioning for your brand. And your recruiters, again, can focus on talent identification and sourcing. So for an example, I would do an email and I would connect with them or send a LinkedIn connection a minute later after that first email. That's a best practice that we use here internally. If people don't respond, we'll either send a second email or usually we send a text, and we have like a 90% response rate to that. If you have a great brand, it's a no-brainer. We even have built-in automated voicemail drop. So the point is, we help you set this up. You can have a phenomenal candidate experience. Nobody ever falls through the cracks, and you have like 100% follow-up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through a few more things, and I'm going to talk quickly so I don't run out of time.
Okay.
These are the people in your database. So now we're going to go to Loxo Source, and this is our database of 500 million people. And this is what is equivalent to some sourcing tools that you see on the market. Again, we have the same data that they do. We in our never wildest dreams would think that Loxo could be a replacement for LinkedIn Recruiter. We didn't say that. We released this. Our customers told us that. We got 950 responses back, and here's why. LinkedIn will cap you at 1,000 results. We don't. 2, it's all about the workflow. So you can just select people as you go. With one click, you can drop them into the job that we created, or build a talent pipeline, or you can drop them into the campaigns that will automate your outreach. And the reason why is because we have their personal phones and emails. And we also recently have been building this out based on customer feedback. We have diversity, we have security clearances. To go back to this, we've invested heavily in data sets in all these different industry sectors. So we have hundreds of millions of people and records and data that is not from LinkedIn, and it's outside of LinkedIn. So we hear all the time people make hires their very first time using this, and it pays for Loxo for two years for their whole entire company. Now what? So I'm going to do a couple more things. So now we're not getting rid of LinkedIn. We're always going to use it. We're always going to use different data sources. So go there, and then what you can do is if they're in your database, this will be blue. If not, it'll be black. It'll yank people into your database, and then you can drop them and source them right into the job from here, or put them into a campaign. So you have lots of options. If you don't have contact info, click that, we'll go find it for you. So you can just source and pipeline and LinkedIn if you prefer to keep it, great. Now the final thing is, how does this all come together? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the jobs pipeline, and this is where the CRM really shines, is you're gonna have a pipeline, a visual pipeline. Recruiters don't use their ATS. It's too much data entry. It's hard to use, and people fall through the cracks. So get rid of your Excel sheets. Now you can visually see where people are, and I could either follow up one at a time by calling and emailing that we have built in, or I could send that entire group a bulk email. If they don't respond on day one, I come back and send a new one, or a bulk text, or I just add them to the campaign from day one. And as soon as Jordan responds here, I just drag and drop, and you'll see it automates everything for you, including reporting. So we'll talk a bit about this. And again, these stages are all customizable to your workflow. The last thing I'd show you is the AI. So if it shows up here, these are the people I've sourced. We're not going to put people in your database unless you want to. So go check out the candidates that Loxo has ranked in order of best fit for this exact role. Lori would be the #1 candidate, and it's mutual. It's the best fit. And the more that your team uses this, we use reinforcement learning on top of our algorithms, and you can track whatever you need to track for compliance, but this is just another sourcing option. I'm going to show 2 more things if I don't run out of time. This is my favorite. You have one dashboard to see every candidate across all recs. You can even work from here. It's unbelievably efficient, and we can customize all these things if you want different teams or offices or whatever. And then the last one would be, how does this all tie together end to end when you need to? You can invite in hiring managers to view this, accept, reject, build scorecards if you want. And then we even have different reporting for you if you want. So we're moving more and more towards this dashboard type. So you can track visibility in your pipelines and identify areas in your process that might be broken.
So hey Matt, on the free account, is all of this is available on that free account?
All of it, the vast majority is available. There's certain things like built-in texting and calling. We don't turn on the premium contact information sources, but
got it.
Yeah, a lot of that is on there.
So Ashley, let's go ahead and launch the poll now that we're going to launch a second poll now that people have seen the actual product before we launch the original poll. Excuse me, Ashley's going to launch that. So now that you've seen it, are you ready for the full access Loxo account? Go ahead and answer that. So yep, I'm ready, or no. Batman mentioned it, and not a fan anymore.
Come on,
So,
Batman.
yeah, we'll troll him a little bit. Why not? So, all right, hey, Matt, this was great. People are still voting, so we're gonna let that run for another moment or so.
Huh.
I hear
Huh.
somebody.
I see this. I see this poll, Ryan. I see
Yeah, yeah.
this not Batman poll, huh?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Hey, Matt, what's going on, man?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
We had to at least
Good.
troll you a little bit.
Yeah, everybody heard me mention earlier about Loxo in my dream stack, and so I figured I would jump on, throw some love, and as a sourcer, if there are any sourcers or recruiters on here, guys, this is one of the tools that I'm using every day. Can I share my screen? Can I do that?
We actually have to. We have to jump to. We got the next session.
Share Langens. Can I share my screen really quick? Can I have 30 seconds?
Go, go, go. You take
Yeah, I love you. I
5
love you so much.
seconds.
All
You
right.
see what I'm doing? I'm manipulating Ryan live in front of his whole audience. This is
30
amazing.
seconds. That's all you get.
30
Oh, I only gave
seconds.
him 5 seconds.
Guys, check this out. So I know I mentioned this about Seek Out also earlier. So Loxo Source has only been around for 5 months. So they know they're growing, they're fine tweaking and everything. But remember that thing I told you I absolutely loved about Seek Out? Check this out, guys. You can Boolean through the same thing. Same exact list of titles and past companies. Also, they have the completers, just like Seek Out does. One unique thing for Loxo for all my Boolean sourcing nuts, because I know Matt doesn't touch on this because he's not an absolute sourcing nerd. Guys, Loxo is the only sourcing platform on the planet that allows you to search with stop words. So you can do something like this and say with Scala and do a search. All other platforms eliminate the stop word with, to, go, using, used, etc. Loxo doesn't, so you can actually do real natural language search without having to search through Google. So I had to jump on here as a nerd and throw a nerd shout out as to why I use Loxo for sourcing. Not to mention, I don't lose any of my shit because it can go directly to messaging and then my ETS afterwards. So 30 seconds, I'm out. That's all I got. Matt, love you to pieces. I'm out of here.
Thank you for the kind word.
Hey Matt, this was it was great having you here. This is awesome. So for everyone that was on that said yes, we're ready for that for the demo account, we will make sure you guys have all the information you need, and we'll get you over to Matt and his team to get things moving. So Matt, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of the day.
Yeah, thank you so much.